Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Mind Offload with me, Baballo MC. Welcome to it. I'm so happy to see you again. I hope you're happy to see me. I hope you've been good. I've been good. I have been very, very well. Honestly, I cannot complain. Welcome to it. I am Baballo MC and you're watching Mind Offload. Guys, we are fully in autumn in South Africa. Change of weather, just reminding us just the beauty of time moving and how things change over time, and that we can also evolve and change and move, and that we are not mountains sitting still. I hope that this new season sort of speaks to you and tell you just how much is actually happening around you in such a way that you can also make different things happen for yourself. Welcome to it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today's topic is imposter syndrome will delay your success. Imposter syndrome will delay your success. Guys, I was just thinking the other day, I wanted to do something and I just knew that I could do it. I don't know whether it was running on the weekend and stuff, because usually I had just gotten used to, no, I run during the week and I am not really running during the weekend yet. So the other day I'm like, but I can run. I just know how to run now. Like no matter when, no matter how. And it just hit me, imposter syndrome is going further and further away from me. Like that thing, yeah, I cannot do something. And it felt so good to me that imposter syndrome is just not that relatable to me as the days go by. As I've formed and achieved certain goals, as I've formed and achieved certain habits, I'm like, oh my goodness, so this is me, this is my life. I am becoming one of the people whom is not a part of their vocabulary anymore. I was watching Umile Dwaba's podcast some other time, and she had Mateba Modise. I think that's Mateba Modise. She sells the skincare, this lady. And I think Mbumi was questioning her, how did you know that you could go from banking into the skincare business? How did you know you can do this and you'd be successful? Didn't you fear that you wouldn't succeed and your life would just never pan out? And that lady said, no, like my life not actually working out is not a thing. I don't have ideas of my life not working out. I don't have ideas of my life not being a success. I don't have ever ideas of if I set out to do something and I work towards it, then it might not work out. I just don't operate in that realm. I'm not from an environment where I was told that things could not work out. And when I first watched it, I was like, this is not true. Surely everyone has fear of things not working out. Surely everyone has fear. And that lady, I don't know, it's not a thing that I grew up around. It's not a thing that lives in my head. And it hit me, okay, some of us, we've had to unlearn this thing of something is not going to work out. Unlearn, I live in fear. No, you don't have to live that way. And all of a sudden, I am also creating a mindset, a space, an environment, a community, a space really in my surroundings where is not a part of the vocabulary. It's not a part of the end product. And I am doing that first with myself, and I can only imagine what I'm going to do for my child. And I'm so excited and I'm so happy to know that one can redirect the thoughts in their minds until the reality is actually different. The reality of the immediate thoughts that come up is actually different. So I really hope that these videos, honestly, have also been helping you. Habits can change your life. Mental or thoughts can change your reality. And we take it anyani because thoughts are silent. They're just sitting in our head. So you're thinking, how can they possibly change my reality? But I promise you, we are our communities. We are the words that we speak to other people and speak to ourselves. What type of community are you to yourself? If we are going to, let's say, blame our community, we blame our surroundings for everything we did not become, every delay we experienced, every imposter syndrome that lived inside of us. Okay, I blame society. People did not encourage me. People discouraged me. If you are in a position to now be your own community, what kind of community are you to yourself? What type of words do you speak to yourself? If you know the serious impact of words from other people really put and do to your life and the progress of your life, what type of words are you speaking to yourself? Because now you are your own community. You are your own naysayer, or are you your own cheerleader and you can do this, and advocate for whatever you actually want to achieve? Are you an advocate for your goals, or are you a naysayer now in your own head, even when you don't live around too many people that are telling you negative things? Are you being honest with where you are in that regard? And I know getting rid of imposter syndrome is not simple. You live in such environments for so long. It's like, surely this is how life goes. Some of us, when we then started growing up and are like, I want to do this, I want to do that, and we were out there, and you were touching and speaking and just engaging with a lot of people from a young age, and you kept on being put down by people. But they always used to really get to me. But you've got verbal diarrhea, always used to get to me. But just stop doing that, you are irritating, always used to get to me. People will put you down and down and down and down until you are there, just sitting still. It happens. It really happens. But please, I urge you to remind yourself, there's actually people who don't live with that thing. There's really people who don't live that way. I promise you, you can watch their podcasts. They don't know this feeling of people convincing them that they could never become anything, and then eventually they go down to that state of really believing it. Do not think because some of us existed in such spaces, then there are no other spaces, there is no other reality. It's not true. And you can begin to create the different reality for yourself, as hard as it is to step out of that. But I'm last. People said I'm irritating. People said I am forward. All those things were killing my spirit one bit at a time. But I can wake up again. I think it was Khobedi Dilogwe. Don't die before your actual death. I think she said that she lost her husband, I think 2 years ago or 4 years ago. And she was just like on this podcast, I think the Capital Conversation, she was like, do not die before your death. So things can happen, things, hurtful things, traumatic things, a loss of somebody very close to you, and loss of yourself. You are very, very close to yourself as well. I think we don't acknowledge when we've lost ourselves, because we don't see ourselves, right? Our spirit just lives down there in our hearts and our brains and our conscience, and we don't see it, and we never even get to mourn, but I lost that person, because you're not seeing it. But may you remember what you lost, and may you know you are still alive. Do not die before your actual death. And remember, people benefit from you being down and sad and downtrodden. People benefit from it, whether it be for the sake of, okay, I also just need a buddy who's not doing anything with their lives. Somebody's benefiting from them when they just need a buddy where we are not doing anything. Whether somebody just needs companionship in terms of, I don't need somebody to be reminding me that we need to be studying book studying. Moto doesn't want to be challenged, and they are happy maybe just being with a friend who never talks about books. That is benefiting them, because they've got this friend where they're just content and they're happy with things as they are. You not challenging yourself, you not getting up, you not rising again and waking up again to do what sets your heart on fire, what sets your purpose on fire, does benefit some people. So be aware, are you really satisfied? Are you okay with being that companion for yourself? If that's the case, you know what? Great. Like people do sometimes share guys, not all of us want everything and all these great things that life has to offer. The miracle that is existing, the miracle that is our brains, the things that it can achieve, the places our bodies can go to. Not everyone wants that. Some people just really want a simple life, and that is great. But if you are a person who really, really wants to do more and you're just so downtrodden by imposter syndrome, I urge you to please let it go. No, it's not true. Somebody spoke it into your mind, somebody spoke it into your existence, somebody spoke it into your reality. Eventually you believed it, you were just a child. Now, if you're an adult, you can just remember, but actually that thing was a lie. Please just put it in your heart. That thing was a lie, it's not true. What is imposter syndrome? I mean, really, who's born knowing it all? Who's born for it all? Nobody. Even the people that didn't have to struggle with imposter syndrome, Moto will tell you, even Yana Matebo will tell you, I actually repeated, I think it was her honors here in in accounting sciences at the University of Pretoria. She repeated the year. So nobody is born just knowing all everything or being good at everything. No, you just know that you can do something and you keep on working and working towards doing it. So don't stop just because you have failed before. Don't stop just because you believed you could not do it before. You can rebuild a new reality. It is time. You do not have forever. I know we want to have forever, but we do not have forever. Guys, what if God takes you tomorrow? I was telling a colleague of mine, he was asking, how are you doing? And I'm like, I'm so happy because if God took me tomorrow, at least I can say, I filmed a podcast yesterday. I posted it. This is what people know me for. And I lived my purpose before I died. And if I were to get the chance on that hospital bed or deathbed to maybe smile for one more second for any reason, it would be that I did it. I stepped out and did exactly what I wanted to do, which is to share motivational, inspirational, uplifting words with other fellow human beings who have been downtrodden like myself. So we don't have forever, unfortunately. Take the chance to do what you love, to do what puts your spirit in a happy state, every opportunity that you can, so that when something happens, something tragic happens, and unfortunately we are all gonna die one day. We just don't know when. So I would say or encourage you, maybe start doing the things that you truly love today. The next pointer, do you give your mind enough credit? Do you give your mind enough credit, really? Do you give your mind the space, the backup to give you solutions? Or are you just in a state of, my mind could never come up with a positive solution? Like, do you really, have you given it a chance? Or were you born in a world where do this, go left, go right, that you have become so interdependent on other minds to find the solutions for your life? Give your mind more credit. Leona, it's here. Just as other people have come up with solutions for the way of living, your mind is just as capable. Just give it a chance. Challenge it. Expand it. Study something. Write research papers. As I'm trying to now do my honors, as I'm actually doing my honors, I think the one thing that gives me fear and heebie-jeebie research papers. I remember when I attempted it first time around 10 years ago in 2014. It was 2014. It was the research module that just had me let go of everything, because I was like, what am I going to write? Like, am I supposed to write 250 pages? I can't remember how many, but I couldn't even get to 5 pages. And I was like, what am I supposed to write? And now, as I was doing school, I was given something to write, and then I was shown how the answer becomes, and I was just always taking, writing, putting out the solution that somebody has already put out there. So I had no idea that my mind is able to come up with theories to influence the way people actually better their lives. I had no idea the actual utility of my own mind. I was so convinced that it's other people's lives or minds that will always give me the solution for my life. And now I'm like, how, Amara, guys? How long am I going to think that other people's minds my solution for my mind? Guys, I think the world has enough followers. The world has enough people needing someone to tell them, go left, go right. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with being a follower. I personally enjoyed it. Ignorance, bliss. You just go, somebody else is making things happen for you. You're not responsible for much. Therefore, you're never really blamed for much, because every time when you were younger that you tried to do something, you got blamed for something, it shattered you because the blame was so much. So you're like, you know what, if I don't ever step up into actually putting my hand up for something, then I will not get blamed. Guys, I remember this time I went to an interview fresh out of undergrad school, and they asked us this question, Kilebeti, what it had to do with, and I knew the answer, but we were in this group setting and people just started talking about everything. And when the moderator came to say, guys, the answer was right here on the wall, board. I never said you could not use this thing on the board. And as I sat there, this thing reminds me as I sat there and I knew the answer, fear had gotten to me that much. I couldn't say to this group of people that are so convinced, or we had to look up the answer on AI or to look up the answer on a textbook. It was right there staring at me. But I was so fearful to take charge and take accountability and take ownership of how a group of people must do something because of the fear of failure and them blaming me. When that moderator said, your answer was in front of you the whole time, I was like, oh my goodness. But I mean, the idea and notion of fear was so ingrained into me. I was like, I was better off not saying anything. Guys, we were always going to be great leaders. We were always made for it. We were always made to exist and live this life and flourish in this life long before we knew, long before we understood our power. We always knew. I think we always knew. Somebody I think wrote it, I think it's is it Tepo? I think it's this guy who makes suits. He's like, people that just become these great people, they always knew. It's just that there's gaps in their lives or times in their lives where life just puts them down and they have to go with whatever everyone else is saying. But one day it comes back up with that thing. I always knew that I must take up my space as a leader of something. I must at least lead myself. I must then lead my children, play a part in leading my household. I was not made to just sit down and not use my brain. We need more leaders, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot just watch this world decide how we go left, when we go right, what the cost of everything is, and then we are just like, oh well, kitlaring, oh well, kitlaring. No, guys, we cannot sit and think, I just hope it works out. If you know that you've got the capability to participate along with the people that try to make it work out for humanity, for your own household, for your own family, for yourself, make it work out. Just at least try. As I'm talking about do things as well for yourself, somebody mentioned that you need operating systems. You need operating systems, and it just had me questioning. So this guy runs multi-billion-dollar companies right now. He's this nerd who's just also very passionate about creating. So nerds can be quite creative people as well, and I understand as well that even creative people can actually work towards reading books and understanding the serious utility of learning from books as well. And if you might have watched my first or second podcast where I'm like, you know what, if something doesn't want me in academics, then it's okay, so be it, let's let it go. But actually I also realized just because I'm a creative does not mean I can become an academic. No, I'm fully capable of expanding this thing as well, my brain. So I take it all back. Hey, books. What No, I want to also be learned in this space of how to actually use all the things that exist in the world to make my life better, especially to make my life profitable. And this guy was talking about operating systems, and it just had me questioning, if I'm going to want to influence people positively in the near future, to influence groups of people, to make a difference in their lives, and to create solutions that really make the lives of people better, I need to know how to set up operating systems. And then it has me coming back to me, do I even have operating systems that are working in my own life currently? Do I know how to just establish a system? Do I know how to stick to the system? Do I know how to then evaluate whether the system is actually working for me or not? And then go back to the drawing board. You know how I like to bring it back to us guys, or if you can't even decide or distinguish or not distinguish, if you can't even determine a system and challenge your brain to give you a system that works for you, that you can follow in your simple everyday duties, how are you really going to create a system that other systems can work with until it actually makes tangible changes in human beings' lives? I mean, you must be able to, you grow the confidence of this lack of, or you grow this confidence to move forward without imposter syndrome, because you realize that I know how to put a system in place. My brain is capable of showing me a system. And I mean, the system of life, you can call it habits. Now I know that my brain is capable of creating a habit, sticking to it, and now I'm seeing the results. So you need to just learn at least let me create a small system for myself, stick to it before I can share it with other human beings, so that I can teach my child something that works, so that I can create habits in my household that actually move us forward, move us to a healthy lifestyle, move us to a thinking lifestyle, move us to an enriched lifestyle in monetary terms, and not just going with the left and the right, the up and the down. You need an operating system. OS systems are not just systems that you see on the phone and that you see on the laptop. Everything that works so great is because it's got a fixed or determined operating system. And if you're going to want to operate in a great manner, shouldn't you also try to check what is your operating system? Whether it's raining, whether it's autumn, winter, summer, spring, you need something that is stable, that continues to work nonetheless. Do you get me? And that's why I was speaking to offload your mind, so that you can create new ways of operating in your life that shows you can operate consistently. You yourself, you can operate consistently as well. Don't think some things are just meant for machines. No, it's people that make machines. And it took a person working consistently at something to make a certain machine. So this person also was basically wiring a certain type of mindset, a certain type of ability in themselves to consistently see this machine through. So you're not a machine. No, please. It's amazing being a human being. I love being a human being. I love existing and feeling all the emotions and being random at times. But establish what's important to also do, guys. Don't spend all your time just going with the flow. I mean, there isn't really much return there, because if no one is seeing this thing actually works this way, I can do it and it gives me certain results, no one will ever buy into it. And if no one is ever buying anything you're doing, How are you going to become more enriched? If no one is ever buying the way in which you're doing your work, even if you're employed by somebody else, I'm not just talking about entrepreneurs. If no one is ever buying, or you know what, you do your work very well and you do it consistently, how are they ever going to say, I need to give this person more money? Because they're just so good and so meticulous and so detailed at what they do. And we need more money, guys. We need more money. There's a lot of money out there, and we need to participate in the world of money. And thank you so, so much for watching this episode. I hope that you have taken a nugget or two to apply for yourself this coming week. Go out there, be great, lead yourself so that you can lead others that are willing to be led by you, or are willing to be inspired by you, or are willing to learn from you. It's not about leadership, grabbing, no, I'm running people. No, it's about just the confidence to know that your mind too has solutions. So it's not about grabbing all these people and they are your followers and everything. No, it's just about the impact that you can leave on other minds. Be a person who goes out into the world and does just that. I will see you guys in the next episode. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Remember, eat well, do some exercise. Exercise will teach you so much about your brain capacity. And then you can come back and just do what you need to do when you get back to your desk. All right? Keep well, guys.